Hey YouTube, it's Adrian. Just before we get you to this video, do me a favor and head over to pageantlaunch.com. We are starting the world's first dedicated pageant review site, and I would love for you to join our launch team. All you need to do is put in your email address. It's completely free. We are looking to make a pageant industry that is safe, transparent, and fair. I know it's like that most of the time, but over the last year, it's become very evident that it's not like that all of the time. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, put in your email address, and let's get you to this.
I'm Catriona Davidson, Miss Intercontinental Scotland 2019, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I'm here with Catriona Davidson, who is Miss Intercontinental Scotland 2019/20. I was doing so well. Catriona, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Congratulations on the title. The first question has to be, how does it feel?
It feels crazy. I still can't get over it. I've got like a little shelf in my room where my crown and my sash sit, and I just look at it and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I still can't believe it. It's so surreal.
What was your reaction when you won? I was interviewing Imogen Chapman, who's Miss Teen Great Britain. When she was crowned, she cried straight for 10 minutes. What was your reaction?
I think I'm the only one that cried, actually, out of the three of us.
Okay. Let's start with the easy question. Can you give us an idea as to your pageant experience? I've interviewed people who've done one pageant. I've interviewed people who've done over 30. So whereabouts on the pageant spectrum are you?
So the crazy thing is I only started doing pageants this year. I've done 2 pageants in the past, and then, of course, Miss Intercontinental, which I won. But yeah, the experience for me, I mean, I don't have much, I must say. But the pageants, I just caught the bug, I think. I did it once just to give it a go, and I caught the bug, and I was like, I will do this forever.
That's a long time to do it forever. So you caught the pageant bug. What was it about pageantry that attracted you in the first place?
Do you know, I wanted to get involved in like theatre and like drama and stuff, and then I couldn't really find anything like that. And so I found out about pageantry 3 times, of course, as many do. And then I thought, oh, I'll just give that a shot, like see if it's anything like it. And then just meeting all the girls and being up on stage and like getting involved in the community, it was so good. I loved it.
Guys also watching on the live stream, if you haven't watched one of my interviews before, you can, obviously, the point of going live is you can ask Catriona questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will come around to them and I'll tell Catriona about them. She can't see them at the moment, but I'll let her know. And also if you have any messages of support, I'm sure she'd appreciate hearing those as well.
I would.
Catriona, can you walk it? So we do have Miss Intercontinental here in Australia, but it wasn't actually run this year because the director was busy having a baby.
Oh, interesting.
Can you tell us what the sections were you had to compete in Miss Intercontinental over there?
Yeah, so we competed in interview, swimwear, and evening wear.
And out of those, which was your favorite to compete in? Do you have a favorite section?
I think it's really difficult. I love all the sections. I do love interview, I have to admit. I just love the excuse to be able to talk about myself. No, but I love to be able to talk about everything I've done and how hard I work. I think if there was no interview stage, it definitely wouldn't be as much of I don't think the crown would be as yours as it is during an interview, because you put everything that makes you worthy of winning the crown. And so that's why I personally love interview. But then, I mean, I love strutting my stuff. Swimwear is such a fun round. It's a round I struggled with a lot, but I had coaching from Rachel from the Pageant Academy, and she took my lack of skills and turned it into talent.
Have you had any embarrassing moments on stage? That's a question I asked on Instagram. I've heard some horrific stories now. But were you all good, or have you had any embarrassing moments on
I'm really
stage?
lucky. I haven't really had any. In the actually during Miss Intercontinental, I had a really long dress with a train, and there was Velcro on the stage, and my dress kept getting
Oh no.
caught in the
Yeah.
Velcro. And when I came off stage, I turned to my friend and I was like, there is no way I scored like on that round because I just kept getting my dress stuck. I kept having to kick it. I thought it looked awful, but it must not have looked that bad.
That's a really awkward thing to have Velcro on the stage. I mean, were the other girls
I
getting their
know.
trains caught as well?
Everybody was coming off, like my train was getting caught, and people's like Georgia had an amazing dress with a long like sleeve train detail, and she said
Yeah.
that got caught. So everybody's dresses were getting caught.
Oh, that's a shame. I've heard of some stages that have had not ideal setups. Velcro is a first. I've heard,
No.
obviously, when you're walking
Yeah.
on stage, you normally have heels. It's difficult to walk. Large staircases are usually the bad
my
thing.
gosh.
How
Yeah.
are you? Are you okay with staircases, walking up and down in heels?
I'm not too bad. I have had like years and years of dance and stuff in heels, so I'm all
Oh,
right
okay.
in mine. They do hurt, but they always do.
Yeah, I know.
Don't think you ever get used to that.
Well, I think you guys are used to it. I think if a guy ever wore heels, and he'd be complaining probably nonstop. Catriona, can you give us an idea as to what you do outside of pageantry? So you already said you like interview because you get a chance to show that everything that you stand for, all the hard work you've put in, obviously. So give us an idea of who it is behind the crown.
Absolutely. Well, I'm actually currently a law student at the University of Lancaster, and that's taking up a lot of my time at the moment. But a lot of my advocacy in terms of pageantry goes into mental health, and I work also with cancer research. I'm really unfortunate to have lost family members to cancer, and so that is a charity that I adore. I've done quite a few 5K runs and things like that with them, just trying to get involved in the community, because I actually moved abroad. Like, I lived in Spain for 10 years. So when I came back to the UK, I really struggled, like feeling a part of the community and feeling involved. So I just tried to get involved as much as I can. I have a mental health platform on a live broadcasting app. And I've got over 13,000 fans that tune into that, where I just talk about my experiences with mental health and the difficulties that I've faced and how I've overcome those. So those are the two topics that really make up my advocacy and what I try to stand for.
That's amazing. What's the name of the app that you have 13,000 followers on?
It's called YouKnow.
Like the card game?
No. YOUNOW.
Okay, I don't think I've heard that one. So I don't think we have that one here. I could be wrong. But so do you go live on that one and talk about your struggles with mental health?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you find it confronting to talk about your issues at all? Because I mean, we had I don't know, I guess for you guys, World Mental Health Day is actually today. For you, for us, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But a lot
today.
of people find it really difficult to talk about because it's something that a lot of people, there's a lot of stigma attached. So did you find it difficult to talk about your struggles?
Absolutely. I think it's always scary to like reveal a certain part of yourself. Like, we always try to come across the best versions of ourselves, and it can be really easy to just kind of keep things in the background and not tell certain people things. But I like to be open and honest about my struggles. I've had a difficult time with self-esteem and with fitting in and just finding my place in life, and that has led to some really hard times. So, but if I don't talk about it, then other people are going to feel the same way that I felt, which was that I was completely alone and nobody understood. So that is something I don't want anybody to feel. So I just try to, I mean, if what I have to say helps someone, great. And if it doesn't, that's also great. I'm just put myself out there, and then people can respond to that in any way they want. I have had my fair share of people being like, oh, shut up, it's just, just creating drama, like blah, blah, blah. But everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and some people really don't think that mental health should be as big of a deal as it's starting to become. So I suppose each to their own.
Yeah, for sure. I will come around to the Facebook questions in a sec, Catriona. Just before we do go there, you mentioned that you are a law student at the moment. So can you give us an idea as to what plans you have for the future? I mean, you're super young, so I don't expect you to have your whole life mapped out just yet, although some people might. But what have you got lined up for yourself in the coming years?
My end goal is to work to become a barrister. That is a dream. I know it sounds corny to say a dream I've had since I was younger, but I've always been quite I don't want to say a bookworm, but I've always been reading, and I've never really been like a particularly social person. So I always kind of knew from when I was younger that I wanted to be a lawyer. So that's my end goal, is to become a barrister. I've started my law degree. I've got 3 years left of this, and then I will do another conversion course to become a barrister, and then hopefully start representing some people in some cases, which would be amazing.
So are you good at arguing? I imagine that you must be pretty good at public speaking and debating if you want to be a barrister.
Yes, I love to argue. I love a good argument. No, I used to run my own debate club in high school.
Oh wow!
So I've always been into public speaking. I just think there are so many, like, I have so many thoughts and ideas and stuff I want to express, and if I don't, then maybe the world's missing out. So so I'll express them, and if people don't agree, then that's not my problem.
Yep, no, that's spoken like a true barrister, but that would come in handy for interview section, obviously, in pageantry, which is a huge deal. Catriona, I'm just going to circle around to the Facebook comments now. You've got a lot of comments there. It must be a family member of yours. Michael Noonan is saying he can't wait for this. Okay, figured as much. And he's tagged a couple of people there. Jessica Barclay is on. Miss Middlesex Galaxy, Chloe Lake. Jessica has asked, what's the one big thing you want to do with your current title?
That is such a difficult question. And there are so many things I want to do with my title and so little time. I go to India in just over 6 weeks. But as far as overall for the year that I've got ahead, just really trying to get involved in my community. I'd love to hold an event. I know myself and the girls have been talking about hopefully hosting a Intercontinental UK event at some point in the upcoming year in 2020. We think that would be so much fun and a really good way to raise money. I've got a cold. But other than that, I just try to get involved in as many things as I can. I want to try and take my mental health platform to another level. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to kind of do that, the best people to speak to try and figure that out. But I would love to host maybe some kind of event raising money for mental health, where I can gather maybe a panel and we can talk about issues of mental health, because I know so many people struggle with it and it's not just me. So I'd love to have a panel where we talked about those kind of things, maybe something like, go live on Facebook again with it. I think it would be great. So I've got so many plans. My head is full. I've got a notebook where I wake up in the middle of the night with an idea. I'm writing that down. So I've got so many things I want to do, but hopefully I've got time to fit it all in the upcoming year.
Whenabouts are you flying out to India, Catriona?
So we are flying on the 28th of November.
Right. Okay.
So pretty soon.
Have you been to India before?
I've never been, no. I've always wanted to go. I've got a map on my pinboard where I scratch off all the countries I've been to, and there's so many places I want to go, and India has always been one of those. So I'm super, super excited to experience the culture, the food, the people. It's going to be amazing.
And how long is the international pageant?
We will be overseas for 3 weeks. We compete on the 21st of December. So just under 3 weeks. Wow. So it's gonna be crazy, but amazing. I'm so excited. I think it's all I talk about. If you meet me in the next month, the topic of conversation is usually internationals.
I can imagine. So are you going to be back in the UK for Christmas, though? I mean, if you're over there competing until the 21st of December.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's cutting it fine. We haven't finalised the details with like flights coming back yet, but I hope to be at home with my family over Christmas.
Yeah. Okay, Jessica has also asked, how would you sum up your signature style? And Catriona, just whilst you answer that, I am going to turn around and shut the blinds because the sun's about to come up here in Australia and just going to blind everyone. So how would you sum up your signature style?
I suppose quite boho, I would like to say. It's difficult. I dress in many kinds of ways. When I lived abroad, I used to be a very kind of like bohemian dresser. I used to wear loads of like flower crowns and all that kind of stuff. But since being back in the UK, it's too cold. It's too cold for all that sort of stuff. So I tried to be a bit more casual. It's just, if I have time, then I'll go all out in what I'm wearing. If I don't, it's usually a hoodie and some tracksuit bottoms.
That sounds very comfortable.
It really does. That's what I've been wearing all day today. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just going through the Facebook comments. Jessica has said that she struggles on stairs in flats.
Yes.
That's in flats. That's
yeah, in flats, let alone heels, right? Am I right? Jeez. It's so hard.
I'll say Jessica is 5'11" tall. So I guess when you're that tall, then yeah, stairs may be an issue.
That is tall. That is tall.
You have Linda Diane Barnett has said, very proud of you, Catriona. Love, Linda from Spain.
Ah, that's so lovely.
Valerie Williams has said, Val Williams is here watching with Jean Dodge.
Oh, these are all my... I used to take part in a local theatre when I lived abroad in Spain, and the community there was so great. It was the only English-speaking theatre on the coast, and everyone there is super supportive of me and everything I'm achieving, so everyone's so lovely.
Do you speak any Spanish?
I do, fluently.
That's a neat trick.
It is pretty cool.
I mean, if you ever have a talent round, being bilingual is always a good one to have.
That's always my go-to. Whenever people are like, what's your talent? I'm like, well, I speak languages.
More than two? Is it just English and Spanish, or is there more than that?
I speak a bit of French as well. Not as well as I speak Spanish, but enough to get by. Okay,
so here's the thing. I don't think I'm sure I've interviewed people who can speak more than one language, but it hasn't come up. But are you able to do? You remember I got you before we went live to do the introduction in English. Are you able to do that introduction in Spanish, just so we can hear it?
I can do, yeah.
Give it a go. Let's see what happens.
Hola, me llamo Catriona Davidson y soy la reina Miss Intercontinental Escocia y estoy aquí con el Pageant Project.
That was so cool. I should start doing.
I choked a little bit there, but.
Well, when I was introducing you, I choked on Intercontinental as well. It's not the
so
easiest.
Long, isn't it? It's so hard to say.
Yeah, I have struggled with that one in the past. I know it tricks me up. Intercontinental. It's got like one too many syllables, and I always miss one or two.
Right.
Catriona, I've got some questions from Instagram here. So, that's an interesting one. Who is your biggest role model?
I've had this question quite a few times in my interviews, and I always go for the answer that just is the only answer, I think, and it has to be my mum. 100%. My mum is such an incredible woman who has had a very interesting life. She's this little fierce Scottish woman, and she's so great, and she is everything I aspire to be and more. So I always have to say my biggest role model is my mum. It would be wrong of me if I said anything otherwise.
I forgot to bring up the Scottish part because I can understand your accent just fine, but would you say that your Scottish accent is fairly mild?
It's awful. My Scottish accent is absolutely awful.
Well, do you mean awful in the way that people can't understand you, or awful in the way that...
I know, I think people expect me to have a Scottish accent because if you hear my mum, she is very Scottish.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can fake one, but it's not very good, so I don't bother. I wish I could do a brilliant Scottish accent. I love them, but I can't.
Well, I am certainly not going to try. When I was interviewing Olivia McPike, who's Scottish, and a lot of people have commented that they love her accent, but they also couldn't understand it.
I love
asked
Olivia's
her about,
accent.
so do I. I asked her about Scottish food, and she said she didn't like it. So are you a fan? Oh, look, to be honest, the only Scottish food I know is haggis and the deep fried Mars bar. So do you have any opinions on either of those two dishes?
I do not like haggis, but Scottish rock, that is so nice. That is so. I love Scottish rock. I always eat it when I'm there in Scotland. But haggis, it's just, no, it's just not the one. And I feel like I'm letting my Scottish roots down, but I cannot stand haggis.
Okay, but you'll have to tell me what rock is. Scottish rock, I've not heard of that. What is that?
I have no idea. It's this like sweet, it's a stick of it's called rock, but I think it's just boiled sugar and they mix it with like different
Oh,
flavorings and it's really popular in Scotland and it is amazing. But it is basically boiled sugar, so it is super bad for you.
it sounds like toffee. Is it like a caramel, just like a toffee stick or something like that, like a lollipop?
Yeah, kind of, but it's just usually just like one stick, or you get like you can get it in
Right,
little pieces too.
right, okay. It sounds like a good pageant
It's
prep
yummy.
food.
I would recommend.
Okay, another question. What got you started in pageantry?
I mean, I suppose I covered this a little bit before, but
Mm,
mainly just self-esteem and just trying to get involved. Like I moved to the UK on my own when I was 16, and it was a
wow.
really scary move for me, and I knew no one, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just wanted to get involved and find a way to make friends and maybe feel a bit better about myself because I was really struggling with my mental health and my self-esteem. And I was watching Misha Grimes' video one day and I just filled in the form and then took me on the crazy adventure of Galaxy, which was my first pageant, which I love Galaxy. And I love Holly. She is incredible.
I don't think anyone's going to disagree with you on that. Everyone loves Galaxy and everyone loves Holly. Although I get the feeling that Holly never stops. I've been trying to schedule in an interview with her, and she sounds like she's dying in the lead up to Teen Great Britain. But after that, I'll get to interview her if she
Oh
survives.
my gosh, yeah. That woman, the amount of strength she has is unreal. She is
Yeah.
such a genuine woman who really cares about all the girls that get involved. And I have to say the same for my director, Lily, of course. Lily is just genuinely the nicest person who works so hard with us girls every day. You know, she's a flight attendant and you never know where in the world she
Oh,
is,
wow.
but if you need her, she's on the phone, she'll call, she'll text, she'll help in any way she can. She's fantastic. So we have to give it up. We have to praise these directors because they work so tirelessly. It's incredible.
Yeah, it takes a special type of person to become a director. But some people might say you have to be crazy to become a director, I think. Got
100%.
got to deal with all the drama or the tears. It's not an easy job at all. One more final question from Instagram. What is your ambition in life? I guess we've already kind of discussed this. You want to become a barrister. Do you have any other ambitions in life, or is the barrister the main one?
100% career-wise, becoming a barrister is definitely an ambition of mine. Another ambition I have is just to travel. I absolutely love to travel. I'm really fortunate that I've already been to a lot of places. My parents they love to travel, but
Hmm.
I would love to have gone most places in the world. I think it would be a reach to say every place, every country, but I would love to go to as many countries as I can. I love new cultures. I love meeting new people. I live in a flat currently where every single person in my flat is from a different country, and
Oh, wow.
it's so nice to get to know everyone, and it honestly is such an amazing experience. So I would love to get out there more and get involved in other countries and other cultures and just really like make the most of the life that I have because it is so short. So
Hmm. Jessica Barclay, I'm just going back to Facebook now, has asked, do you have a morning routine?
My morning routine is whatever I can do the quickest to get out of the door, especially when I have like 9 a.m. When I have 9 a.m. lectures, my morning routine consists of grabbing an apple, shoving on a hoodie, and running out the door. That is my morning routine. I wish it was more. I wish it was nicer, but I have to admit, I don't have a particularly enthralling morning routine or evening routine. I kind of throw myself into bed at the end of the day and just go to sleep.
I'm curious just in terms of your law degree, because when I was going through uni here, I had a lot of contact hours per week. I was doing engineering and science, and we had over 30 hours of contact per week.
Wow.
Is law a lot of hours per week, or is it mainly a lot of reading, or how does that go?
Yeah, so I have hardly any contact hours. This week I have had 4 contact hours, and I've got another 4 contact hours, so that I get about 8 to 9 contact hours a week. The rest is reading. They say that for every 1 contact hour, I should be doing 3 hours of reading, so it's crazy. A lot of work.
That really is a lot of reading. We were told for every hour at uni we had to do 1 hour of work outside. You've got that 3 times. So do you ever find that difficult to get the motivation to do that kind of self-study, or is it for you because you're so focused on becoming a barrister it comes easy to you?
I think I definitely have like times where I just want to sit on my phone and watch Netflix or hang out with my flatmates. But it is a balance, you know. At the end of the day, I know what I want to achieve, and I want to work the hardest that I can for it. So, you know, I try to put myself in that mind frame. I try to manage my time as well so that I don't get too overwhelmed. And so I suppose it is just trying to find a balance. I like to make little spreadsheets or little to-do lists, and then I know what I've achieved. I tick it off. It makes me feel better about myself, makes me feel like I'm actually doing something with my day, because half the time I feel like I'm not. So it is, I said, I have it. It does happen to me a lot where I'm sat there and I'm like, I really should be doing something, but I kind of don't want to. but you've just got to push through it.
I can tell you, if you ever need tips on becoming organized or using spreadsheets, there are a lot of UK queens who are very organized. And Jessica Barclay, who's watching, she loves spreadsheets and she loves organizing time. So if you get in contact with her, I think her profession is how to organize time. So if you need any help with that, there are a lot of queens who can help you. I can tell you that much.
I do love a good spreadsheet. Go wrong.
That's not something that I would ever say, but I can understand where you're coming from. Okay, I'm just going to take a final couple of questions from Facebook, then we'll go through the final 10 questions ourselves. So Amazing. Your dad has said that he hopes that you're home for Christmas, and then he has also asked, how was Freshers? And I don't know what Freshers is, but I'm assuming that you know what Freshers is.
Freshers Week is the first week of university, which usually involves going out clubbing a lot and getting very drunk, along with everything else. So I'm not going to lie, I have Freshers flu, which is, I think everybody has. I was sat in my lecture today, and every word the lecturer spoke, there was like 3 coughs. So everybody's sick, but I had an amazing time at Freshers. I absolutely love all the people I've met so far at my university. Everyone is such genuine, hardworking people who, you know, really want to make a difference in the world. So Freshers has been amazing for me.
Catriona, do you actually have a Freshers wristband still on? Because I just saw that when you reached up. I swear it says... That's gonna...
I need to take it off. I'm holding on to it.
Yeah, I've done that too. When I've had a good time, I've kept a wristband on for months until it started losing color, and then I had to have it cut off because I was going to hospital, and that made me really, really upset.
I know. You get so attached to like a piece of string wrapped around your wrist.
Exactly. So he's also said that you're home for Christmas, but you're not sure, right? Because you're in India until the 21st of December.
I'm not sure. I hope to be home for Christmas. My dad is not sure whether he's able to come to India. We're still trying to work on that, which obviously would be really disappointing. But if I got to see him for Christmas, that would make it a little bit better. But You know,
Yeah.
it will work out how it works out. But I hope I do, because my dad and I are super, super close. And obviously living in two different countries makes it really difficult to spend time together.
Yeah.
So I would love to be home for Christmas.
Yeah. Okay, final question before we go to the final 10 questions. Jessica has asked, what do you like to do to keep fit?
This is so funny because I never used to be a person that got fit. And then over the summer, I just signed up to the gym and I love going to the gym. I'm at the gym all the time, every day at the gym. I absolutely love it. It makes me feel so much better about myself. And also recently, I have tried cheerleading at my university, which, let me tell you, is so much more hard work than it comes across, but is really good fun. So I'm really enjoying doing that and getting fit that way. But so yeah, that's something new for me, but is really exciting. I'm really enjoying it.
How far have you gotten in cheerleading? Because one of my previous interviewees from America, Savannah Miles, she's gotten into cheerleading, and I'm seeing some of the stuff she's doing. I'm talking about getting thrown in the air and then being on top of a guy's hand, one hand, and she's standing both feet on one guy's hand whilst he's holding her up there. Is that are you up to anywhere near that, or are you starting a bit easier?
It looks physically impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near on that level. I'm also far too tall to be lifted in the air, so I usually do the lifting.
Oh, okay.
I'm usually the back spot, which is like where I'm comfortable there. I would not want to be thrown in the air and have to trust people to catch me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you. No way.
All right. Okay. So, Catriona, just before we go to the final 10 questions, is there anyone that you want to say thank you to or just give a shout out to for supporting you through your pageant journey?
100% just my parents. It's so funny because they had no idea what pageants were. They were really confused but they have been incredible, driving me everywhere for appearances, up and down the country, you know, spending their hard-earned money on trying to get me the best outfits and the best dresses and honestly, just the most incredible people. And then, of course, I have to give a shout out to my sponsor, Richard Murrell, who from the first day has sponsored me throughout every pageant I've done and just made it so much easier for me as a student on a budget to be able to afford to take part in the pageant. So I have to give those two big shout outs, because without my parents and without Richard, there is no way I would be able to do pageants, which now are just my life.
I like how you put in there a student on a budget. Here in Australia, we just usually say we're broke. But I like how you, that's a barrister in you. You've put it as budget.
But I'll try to put it nicely.
You've picked an awfully expensive hobby. Pageantry is by no means a cheap hobby.
Tell me about it. My bank account has taken the biggest hit over the past 8 months that I've been doing pageantry.
Okay, I can believe that. Let's go to the final 10 questions. And guys watching on the stream, if you have any final questions for Catriona, put them in now and I will circle back around to them when we're done with the final 10. But Catriona, here we go. Final 10. Question 1. What is your favorite word?
Oh my gosh, I have so many favorite words. I don't know why this is my favorite word, because I don't know what it is about it, but do you know the word ambidextrous?
Yeah.
I love that word. I do not know why, but I love that word. There's something, I don't know. It makes me happy. I would also love to be ambidextrous.
Do you try to find a way to just slip it into casual conversation, or because it's not a word that comes up very often?
All the time. And then my dad and I, when I was younger, used to play a game where we would give each other words that we would have to include in the conversation, which is such a funny game to play. I would recommend playing that sometime. If you're having a conversation with someone and you've got a list of words you have to include, it's so funny.
There's a version of that game where when you do interviews, for example, pageant interviews, you have to slip words in. So you could try that one. And you have to, when you go into interview, for example, if the word was ambidextrous, you'd have to find a way to put the word ambidextrous into every single one of your answers.
Oh my gosh, that is impossible. Wow.
You could try.
And I would sound I would sound so weird, just being like ambidextrous this, ambidextrous that.
I don't know. I think if you want to be a barrister and you're good at speaking, that would be a good challenge to see if you can put the word ambidextrous into every single answer. Anyway, Question 2. What is your least favorite word?
What is my least favorite? I don't like the word moist, but I feel like lots of people don't like the word moist. Ugh. I think it's because I've got a lisp too. The word moist just sounds wrong coming out of my mouth. Ugh. It really does. I just hear it and I'm like, that is such a horrible word. Whoever invented that word is a wrong one.
I will tell you, I didn't know that you have a lisp until you said you had one, so it's very, very mild. But the most common answer to the final 10 questions is this one, is moist. And then we circle around to another question, which you'll see in a bit. There's another extremely common question, but moist it is. Question 3, in life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
What gets me excited? I suppose just doing things that make me happy. Like my mum has taught me a lesson over my very short life so far, but she's taught me to just appreciate the little things. And so the things like opening the curtains and just seeing the sun and hearing the birds and I like to go for walks on my own. That makes me really happy. I just walk about campus. My campus is beautiful. There's loads of greenery and trees, and we have loads of ducks everywhere. And I just sit and watch the ducks, and just appreciating the little things makes me so happy, because I can get so caught up in social media and stress of like everything I've got going on with my course and pageants, and I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. So it makes me happy to just sit back and just remember where I am and be grateful for the life that I've been given.
Question 4, what turns you off?
Turns me off. Bad breath. I hate bad breath or any kind of like bad personal hygiene in any form. Just no. It takes so little time to just take care of yourself. Especially, I think pageant girls, we take care of ourselves so much. I think that I just can't stand it when people have a lack of personal hygiene, because you are the most important thing to you. So if you can't look after yourself, how can you look after anything?
Yeah, this is one reason why I don't go anywhere without a box of mints. It's not usually for me, it's often for the people that I'm talking to, and just go, would you like a mint?
Yeah, you're like, so, mint anybody?
Yeah, I normally take one myself so that they're not completely offended, because I just feel if I start giving out mints to people, they might, it's like if you give people cologne or perfume for Christmas presents, they go, oh, does that mean that I smell? So you got to be a bit more subtle than that.
That is always people's response when you buy them perfume.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of the sea. I think since I've lived in a coastal town when I lived in Spain by the sea, and the sound of the sea just makes me happy. I used to struggle with sleeping actually quite a lot. And so I always had apps with the sound of the sea and the sound of dolphins and on my phone, and those used to really help with my sleeping. I don't really know why. I used to struggle a lot with my sleeping, but the sound of the sea makes me so happy. It brings me back to life in Spain and just less stress. Less stress. When you're by the sea, it just makes you happy. It really does.
Sounds good to me. Question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
Do you know what? Oh my gosh, I hate the sound of like metal scraping, or like people scraping like knives and forks on plates, or like nails on a chalk. I hate those noises. Make me feel sick. Oh, even thinking about like especially knives and forks, and people cutting their food and it scrapes them. Oh, makes me stressed.
Have you?
I nearly knocked over something then.
Have you heard of? Because in one of my interviews, someone said the fork thing, but teeth on fork. So they put the food in their mouth, and then apparently they drag the. So that's a sound that's okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird.
Oh no! I told you I was going to tell you. So the most common answer I get to these final 10 is to that question: is the nails down the chalkboard. That is by far the most common one, because that's what everyone defaults to.
What a horrible noise.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant noise in the world. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, which one would you pick and why?
Sure, I always think about this question. There are so many powers I would like to have. I suppose being able to fly would be amazing, but then also reading people's minds, because I love to know what people think about me. I'm so nosy. I'm the nosiest person. I always want to know what people are up to. Like if someone answers the phone, I'm like, who is it? Who is it? Who's on the phone? I'm so nosy. So I suppose reading people's minds would be great, but then I don't know if I would like what I would hear. So
Yeah.
there's always that side to it too.
Yep. See, that's a problem. Okay, question 8. What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt? And let's say, for argument's sake, we take out barrister. So what job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
What career, sorry?
Yeah. What career would you like to attempt other than your own?
I would love to be a doctor. I just think it's the most rewarding job. Anything to do with medicine is just such a rewarding job. I'm really unfortunate to not have a good brain for maths and science. It is so not my thing. I barely scraped to pass in maths. I'm not going to lie, no matter how hard I worked, I just couldn't get it. But if I could, I would 100% devote my career to something to do. I mean, I've always wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon. I think that would be a dream job, but I'm just unfortunately not quite clever enough. Makes me sad to say, but it's true.
I think it's clever in a certain way, because obviously if you're studying law, that you must have a brain. You can't be silly and do law. But I do need to ask, how are you with blood? Because most people don't want to be a doctor because they can't deal with blood. So are you okay with blood? I'm
actually weirdly fine with blood. I really enjoy like horror films and even like documentaries on that kind of yeah, I will weirdly enjoy it. Like that sounds really creepy, but it's true. I don't have a problem with blood or anything like that, to be honest. I just don't have the brain for it, unfortunately. My brain is much more wordy. That's why I like languages and things. My brain just works more that way.
Yep. Okay, so question 9, what job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
Occupation? I don't know. That's so hard. Maybe anything to do with like hairdressing or makeup, because that can go so wrong. And I just feel like I would get told off all the time, and then I would cry, and then I would not be happy. And also they stand for so long. Like we have to give kudos to hairdressers who stand for literally like 12 hours a day on their feet all the time, dealing with customers who usually are not very nice. So, oh no, I would hate to be in that kind of profession.
Yeah, I hear that.
It would make me want to buy a little camper van and just drive away.
Final question, question 10. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
That is such an interesting question. I think I would love him to turn around to me and say that I used my life in the best way possible. One of my biggest fears, and this is a genuine fear that I have, is getting to the end of my life and looking back and not having accomplished anything and not having made a difference, not having left any kind of legacy for anyone. That is a genuine fear that I have. So I try with everything I do to make a difference and to make people better. And so I think that would be something I would love to hear, would be that everything I've done and everything I will go on to do will have been worth it.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I think the worst feeling would be you come to the end of your life and you're looking back at things with regret, or the things that you didn't do, or the things you wish you had done. That would be an absolutely terrible feeling. Catriona, I'm just going to go to Facebook one more time.
100%.
Beth Walker has asked, are you coming to my ball, with 2 kissy emojis?
I hope so. Do you know what? I love Beth. She's incredible. I'm so excited to see her in Galaxy. But I'm so busy at the moment with uni stuff, and I go to university in the middle of nowhere, literally. So I hope to be there. I know she messaged me, so I will get back to answering that once I've done with this interview. But I hope to be able to be there because of it. I love to support Galaxy girls. Galaxy is such a big place in my heart, and so I would love to be there.
Okay. Because she's also then written under that she misses you. So I think she obviously really... She's trying to guilt you into turning up.
She is. No, she was the first friend I made in pageants. In my first pageant when I did Galaxy, and I knew absolutely no one, and I was so scared, and she is such a genuine, lovely girl. So I miss you too, Beth.
Oh, she's made it even worse below, because now that she said "I love you too" with a heart.
Oh, no, I'm being guilt tripped.
now you have to go because she's done this on a live stream. Well done, Beth. Okay, so final thing, your dad has commented, "We did that word game on the last night of the theatre on every show. We got into so much trouble."
We really did. That was so funny. Everybody behind stage, all the cast had different words to try and get into their scripts, and oh my gosh, our director was so annoyed at us.
Oh, you put them into the script?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It was so bad. It was so funny.
What sort of words did you have to put in? Were they just really ordinary words, or were they naughty words, or what sort of words?
No, they were normal. They were normal words. We do loads of like pranks like that. Like if you have a book as like a prop, on the last day, people will stick like naughty pictures in the book to try and make you laugh and like stuff like that. There's always pranks going on. Like if you've got a drink and it's supposed to be like water, on the last night they'll make it like vodka, or it's so funny.
Oh, dear me.
Honestly, it's so bad though.
I did hear in an interview with a very famous actor, he was acting on stage in New York, and he was supposed to be smoking a cigarette, a marijuana cigarette, and obviously it was supposed to be fake, but on the last night they did what you said, and they swapped in a real one. So he actually smoked a real marijuana like cigarette on stage, and he didn't know, and obviously got very high. So I'm not saying that you should do that, but you just reminded me of that.
I think I'd get really thought of if I did that.
Yeah, but it would be funny. Okay, so Beth Walker has said she'll feed you too. So.
Oh, I know. It's a 3-course meal. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, I will. All right, Catriona, look, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
And I'll let you go because obviously you need to message Beth back because she's guilting you into going to her ball. So
I will.
I am going to, let me just see if I can get this happening properly. I'm going to thank everyone for watching, and we will speak to you again soon.
Hey guys, it's Adrian again. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to head over to pageantlaunch.com and join the launch team for our pageant review site. All you need to do is put in your email address. Thanks, and speak to you next time.